and gentlemen. Sorry. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming, and thank you for giving us the time for our presentation. This is first day of presenting our researching topic, and we are first presenters. I'm Mao, and my co-presenters are Yuzuki and Mizuki. Our topic is intangible asset, love, in Japan. Today in our presentation, Yuzuki will introduce Japanese history and culture of love. Mizuki will introduce dating style in Japan. And I will introduce Japanese traditional wedding. The first presenter, Yuzuki, will present her topic. Please enjoy her presentation.
Good evening again. I'm Yuzuki. I have two questions for you. Do you know Japan had a different marriage style in the past? And also, have you ever think about cultural differences about love between the United States and Japan? In my presentation, I will talk about Japanese history of marriage style and Japanese culture of love. First, I will talk about Japanese history of marriage style. In Kofun era, Japan had a marriage style which was called Tsumadoi-kon. In that time, men and women didn't live together and they had their own houses. So at night, only men went to women's house, and in the morning, men left there. If men went to same women's houses for 3 days, it meant married. Can you believe it? Next, in Heian era, Tsumadoi-kon changed to Mukoudori-kon. Muko means husband, dori means accept. So in that system, women's family accepted men, and men started to live together in women's house. Also, there was a ceremony, which was called Mika no Mochi. Mika means 3 days. Mochi is Japanese rice cake. So 3 days later, after they got married, they had to eat Japanese rice cake, mochi. Next, in Kamakura era, Japan had a thinking which was called Kafuchōsei. This thinking was that men's state is higher than women, so they were not equal. Also, marriage style changed to Yomedori-kon. Yome means wife, dori means accept. So in this system, men's family accepted women, and women become a part of men's family. In Meiji era, Japanese marriage style completely changed because Japan had a law which was Ippu Issai-se. This law was could get only one partner. Until Meiji era, men could get more than one wife. Japan still have the same system as Meiji era. Let's move on to next topic, Japanese culture of love. I have one more question for you. What do you do when you get a boyfriend or a girlfriend in the United States? In my research, I knew that sometimes American people don't know when they started official dating exactly. It's right? In Japan, it never happened because we have kokuhaku. Please look at this kanji. This is kokuhaku's kanji. Kokuhaku is action to tell our real feeling or truth. But in Japan, many people use kokuhaku when we get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So let me explain about kokuhaku with using my own experience. Thank you. When I was in junior high school, I met a special boy. He was so cool, and I thought I really liked him. And we started to have conversation, and sometimes I hang out with him. But in this time, we are just friends. And I did kokuhaku. I said to him, I really, really like you, so please go study with me. Fortunately, he accepted my kokuhaku, so I could be his girlfriend. And in Japan, over 90% of people do kokuhaku. So in other words, we cannot get a boyfriend or a girlfriend without kokuhaku. Next, I will talk about public display of affection, PDA. In the United States, I often see people who are holding hands, kissing, and hugging in public place. In the United States, it's acceptable, right? Sometimes people don't like heavy kissing or heavy touching. How about in Japan? In Japan, I often see young couples who are holding hands. It's okay. But kissing and hugging are unacceptable. In my research, I found some articles. It says in Japan, 73.8% women and 64.1% men disagree with PDA, even if light kissing or light hugging. Why Japanese people disagree with PDA? The reason is very simple. Because we don't have a culture to hug or kiss as greeting. We bow as greeting, and bow shows respect. So if Japan had a culture to hug or kiss, maybe Japanese people accept PDA, I think. Finally, I will talk about Japanese married couple. Japanese married couple don't praise each other in public place. Here is an example. When I was a little kid, my father often invited his coworker or his boss to my house, and my mom cooked meal for them. But he always said, "Her cooking is not so good, but this is for you. Please enjoy it." Do you think my mother was angry? The answer is no, because his attitude is just showing humility. In Japanese society, especially in public place, humility attitude is very, very, very important. So they understand each other. Japanese married couple praise each other in family or in more personal place. In conclusion, Japan had different marriage styles in the past. And also, Japanese culture, like no PDA or kokuhaku, are a little different from American style. It might be a little strange for you, but these are part of Japanese culture. Thank you for listening. Next, Mizuki will talk about Japanese dating style.
Thank you, Yuzuki. Hello, I'm Mizuki. The purpose of my presentation today is a dating style in Japan. Of course, there are as many dating styles as there are people. But today, I want to talk about gokon and omiai from those to you. First, I want to talk about gokon. Do you know gokon? Gokon is a party where people who are looking for relationship with opposite sex participate, and it is held in Japanese-style bar. Generally, a single woman and man who know each other organize the gokon. And Each brings 3 or 4 friends. Also, it is common for students to have a go-con with the students from other university. Actually, Mukogawa is woman university, so I think many students may use go-con to find a boyfriend. Recently, there are new type of go-con. One is machicon. It's kind of big. One is machicon. This is kind of big go-con. The other is shumicon. It's specific go-con. First, I talk about machicon. Machi means city. Con means party. And machicon is held in whole town for community energy. It means machicon is held under cooperation of regions. Also, there are more than 100 people who participate in the machicon. Next, I want to talk about shumicon. Shumi means hobby, con means party. Shumicon is for participants who have same hobby. For example, cooking. They cook together and their conversation become lively. Then they are getting along very well. Then they would become a couple. Let's move on to the next topic, omiyai. Omiyai is Japanese traditional custom, but it is sometimes translated as an arranged marriage in America. The origin of omiyai is Kamakura era. In the era, omiyai was done between high-status people, but it was like a political marriage. Also, women didn't have right to choose a husband. In Edo era, it was split to other status. Before the Pacific War, omiyai as a percentage of omiyai marriage was higher in Japan than love marriage. The percentage was 70%. However, it was changed. The percentage of omiyai marriage was 5.3% in 2010. That's because opportunity to meet with other opposite sex have increased. Also, young people think omiyai is old custom, so they don't choose omiyai marriage. However, Japan has a huge omiyai TV program. It's a TV show which women can meet and have relationship with men who live in rural area because the man lack of brides because of depopulation. Also, omiyai has very important person. It's called nakodo. Nakodo is a matchmaker who mediates omiyai. Also, nakodo sets up omiyai and watch over couple until marriage. Then, who is chosen for nakodo? People who couples friends, boss or relative are chosen as nakodo. Sorry. Next, I want to talk about process of omiyai. Before meeting a man and woman, they can check a partner's face by picture and resume. And then, if both want to meet, they can meet with their parents and nakodo. And then they talk with each other. And toward the end of meeting, potential couple are advised to spend some time to get to know each other. From my presentation, you learned about Japanese custom of love and marriage. Both go-kon and omiyai are very important, and both has changed. How will they change in the future? Go-kon may increase new style, and become more bigger, and omiai may disappear. Also, if I can't find my partner by myself, I try to use these customs. Thank you for listening. Next, Mao will introduce Japanese traditional wedding.
Thank you, Mizuki, for an interesting presentation. For the last, I would like to tell you about traditional Japanese wedding. When I was a middle school student, my cousin got married at traditional Japanese wedding. I was very impressed with the ceremony, and I became interested in Japanese traditional wedding. Sorry. Today in my presentation, I would like to introduce Japanese wedding clothing, and some common present for the guests. Recently, many young people in Japan are turning away from traditional living, and new cultures are coming into Japan. This has caused the growth in the rate of the Western style wedding. However, traditional wedding are still remain. Many people in younger generation think that Japanese traditional wedding are old-fashioned, and on the other hand, this Japanese traditional wedding have been revised in a good way. It is first important to understand the wedding in Japan. The wedding in Japan are not only the marriage between groom and bride, but considered to be between both of the families. The couples and their families have to celebrate the marriage at the bride's house. It's called Yuino ceremony. At the wedding ceremony, couples drink sake with small, medium, and large vessels, which represent a promise and oath in front of the God to love each other forever. Then couple read an oath to God. They pray a lot at the wedding ceremony. Then couple read an oath to God with sacred tree called sakaki. After that, all relatives drink sake for the good relationships. At the end of the ceremony, priest honor to God, and wedding will be finished. There are a few kinds of wedding dress for the bride. Among these, white kimono is the most popular. It is called shiromuku. Shiro means white, and muku means pure. White is stand for no blood. The bride is to be the groom's family member, so she have to abandon her own family. That's why her dress have no color that could represent the bloodline of another family. However, in the reception, the bride will wear a kimono with a color. That's why, thus, she has become a member of groom's family. When the bride wears a kimono, there are also special hairstyle and headgear. The hairstyle is called bunkin takashimada. Recently, brides are able to wear both Western or New Japanese hairstyle, but most brides will choose this hairstyle. This is because this hairstyle is only the bride that wear at her wedding. There are two types of headgear for brides. One is called wataboshi. It only be wear with a special hairstyle and white kimono. The another headgear is called tsuno kakushi. Tsuno means horn, and kakushi means to hide. With this headgear, bride will wear a gold Japanese hairpin, and this headgear will be worn with any kinds of kimono. This headgear will be shown the bride's elegance and innocence. For the last, I would like to introduce some presents for the guests who attend to the ceremony from groom and bride. Generally, they would get dishes, cakes, red and white steamed bun, and dried monito. In my hometown, Kagawa Prefecture, there is a traditional present called oiri. It is made with sticky rice spiced with the cinnamon. It's only available in Kagawa Prefecture as far as I know. I bring it here to you to try. And it will be the back side of the hall. So please try it after all the presentations are finished tonight. In conclusion, Japanese traditional weddings have a strict custom which makes people turn away from them. However, this strong custom can make the strong connection between groom and bride as well as each family. Thinking about in a good way, bride's dress is one of the attractive points. And these traditional weddings can feel Japanese culture directly, and it is a great way to know what is to be like Japanese. Perhaps most importantly, this traditional wedding have to be celebrated and pass it down to the future generations. Thank you for listening.
In conclusion, love is universal, isn't it? However, culture of love and marriage is always different between countries. I hope you enjoyed learning about Japanese love and marriage style. Thank you for listening.